Evolution console. This is my worst nightmare, dude. I'm an arcade player.
I hear you.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, if this is the future, we're gonna have to. It's evolving, so we're gonna have to adapt. Personally, I don't like it, but you know, no choice.
And that's exactly what they refused to do. They refused to adapt. They all didn't practice, and they got hosed. And you're about to see the story right now.
That was Alex Valle at EVO 2004, sharing what was the popular opinion among the top fighting game players. And to the displeasure of many, their worst nightmare would manifest in ways they could hardly predict.
You ready? Their worst nightmare was about to manifest in ways they could never predict. The biggest fucking troll of the FGC beat them all. I just want you to think about that for a second. I want you to think about that for a second. For years, I was the one everyone hated or loved to hate. And then I went to EVO and I beat all the fucking top players in Super Turbo and made it the highest ranking American spot in the tournament. And they all were out and I was in. Dude, that is so fucking, to this day, I mean, you could say as much as you want, but dude, here it is in black and white. Right there. You cannot delete this screen. It is there forever. There I am, 4th place. The top 3 are all Japanese players who were much better than all of the Americans at the time. None of us were going to beat them. They were hands down much better than us. But the fact that I just did what I did that year, and that's why they all hate me. They can't stay. The biggest troll actually was the best player that year. Dude, they got fucking crushed. They couldn't believe it.
EVO 2005 would live in infamy for its decision to use the PlayStation port of Street Fighter II Turbo and the outcome of the matches. Both.
It only would live in infamy if I won. Let's be clear here. Let's be very fair. If Alex Valle, John Choi, Mike Watson, all right, the big 3, or any Japanese players or whatever, if they were the top placers, it would have been perfectly fine. But because Darkside Phil got 4th place and beat all the Americans, that's why the tournament says it lives in infamy, right? That's the only fucking reason. They hated me, so they discredit the tournament. You know, I know what the most fucked up part about that is? Because I said this before, actually reacting to a different documentary. When they say that, do you not understand you've discredited the top 3 Japanese players? Now, everyone knew that the Japanese were the best players. So why is it that the Japanese were able to get the top 3 spots easily, no problem, but all the other American players couldn't hang, and I beat them all? Did you hear the Japanese say, man, this thing's a piece of shit. I can't play this version of the game. No, they practiced the version. They came to EVO. They dominated. They won as expected. So why couldn't the other players do that? Instead, they all sat there whining and stomping their feet that they didn't like the version. I can't play the way I like to play, blah, blah, blah. And then they got handed their asses in a paper bag by me. They can't take that away. It doesn't matter if it's an inferior version. The Japanese adapted. I adapted. You adapt too. But they didn't like the fact that they didn't like me and I kicked their ass. That was the problem.
Would receive protest in one way or another.
In 2005, I think it was, the 3 of you were absent from ST Top 8. What happened that year?
When you play Bison and you hit a Fierce Flame and it only goes like 20% of the screen, you got a problem with the game. And you got some idiot named DSP, who's a total piece of shit, by the way.
John Choi on the left, Mike Watson in the middle, Alex Valle on the right. There they are, the top 3 American players in Super Turbo, arguably of all time. And here they are talking shit about me. Okay?
I like to get that on YouTube.
And this was from 2010. This is a video from 2010. I had long retired. I wasn't a competitive player anymore. I had stopped attending EVO since 2007. So I'm long removed from the fighting game community. I'm not talking about these men. I don't care about them. I'm a YouTuber now. I'm making YouTube videos, having fun. It's my hobby. And they decide in a 2010 interview to dunk on DSP, who doesn't talk about them and doesn't care about them. So I've been in their mind rent-free at this point. for the greater part of, what, 5 years since I placed at EVO 2005. They just can't forget the fact that I beat them all.
Too. But this guy thought he was hot shit because he beat me and Choi in a game that was like, it's like fucking Neo Geo conversion of Street Fighter or some crap, dude.
First of all, I have to bring this up. Alex Valle did not enter this tournament.
You spelled his name wrong, June. It's V-A-L-L-E. There's no second E in there. It's V-A-L-L-E. But, I mean, the video is already published. Kind of sucks. Maybe you want to put a correction for his name there.
He claimed he was busy and he couldn't show up. Bullshit. He was like, oh, I'm protesting EVO because they're not holding Arcade Super Turbo. I don't want to enter or whatever, right? Yet he was still there, but he didn't enter. He did not enter the tournament. I'm going to name some names now, people who I've played and beat that day in the Super Turbo for the PS1 that you might be like, what the fuck? Jason Wilson, Mike Watson. Pretty sure I played John Choi and I beat him too.
DSP at EVO 2005 surged in the ranks for Street Fighter II Turbo, a feat that was achieved through a superior knowledge of the game.
Wow, wait a minute. Someone actually gave me credit. June says I won because I had superior knowledge of the game, which is what you do when you want to win in a competition. You learn what's going to be played in the competition, correct? I can't believe it. I actually got some respect from someone for fighting games?